Good morning, and happy Motivational Wednesday. So, let me just go ahead and drop these few nuggets that God did put in my spirit this morning. So, this morning, while I was having a conversation with God about just kind of where I'm at, in my walk and the way I've been walking with Him, the way I've been just walking in general, He made me realize the reason why I feel like I am walking on water. I've been feeling like that for these last couple of months, where I really just been like, man, I feel like I've been walking on water. I didn't even tell my sister, like, I really feel like it's walking on water and I don't understand it. My legs is always shaking every time I get ready to make a certain move. And I know God is saying, just keep going, just keep moving forward. Don't look left to the right. And so what He made me realize this morning is, you're getting off the boat. But this particular boat is not any old kind of boat. This boat is a boat that you've been on for a long time. And there's other people that's on this boat. And normally these people will be like, girl, you crazy. I would have never did that. You should have went over here and did this. Or tell you, I would have never stopped. I would have never turned that job down. I would have left my current job. So what God showed me was, this boat is called settlement. It's called settlement. And I didn't understand it at first. I was like, okay. I said, you know what? That makes sense, God, because up until this point in my life, I have settled for everything that I felt that was the best that I could do. That I felt I ain't worthy to do no better than this. For God to show me, but you are. But you are. So He showed me, you are. But in your mind, you were feeling like, I'm not worthy. So you settled. You settled for whatever. You settled for the marriage that you had because that you thought that was the best you could do. And you were settling before you said, I do. Actually, that's how you didn't marry the last one, because you wasn't willing to settle. But this one, you end up settling. You end up settling for something that never intended for you. So I said, okay, God. All right. Settling looks like you staying in that relationship that you know for a fact, this ain't it. Settling is staying in that job when you know this ain't it. This ain't it. And then God continues to show me, oh, you ain't the first person. It's like the first time my people settled for less than what I said I had for them. And it was because their own mind could not fathom what it was that I wanted to do in them and through them, and to provide to them, because they had never seen it done before. They never seen it done before. The children of Israelites, when they did cross over, they were willing to settle to go back into slavery that they have been in for 400 years. We may not be in chains physically, but we are in chains mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. And guess what? We settle for those things. We settle for those things. We settle for that career. But you going to work stressed out. You don't even like your job. We settle because we make it because in our past And my past, I can speak for me. I don't know about you, but I could be transparent with y'all. In my past, people made me feel like they were more of a prize than I was, including family, friends, relationships. They made me feel like if we wasn't around each other, if we wasn't together, then I wasn't going to do no better than them. And that they were the best. And that they were the prize, that I won the prize. Hell, what prize? A heartache? Cries, tears at night on my pillow? Trying not to lose my mind and snap on you and be like, all right, we can knock if you buck. Taking my kindness for weakness? That was my prize. See, settlement doesn't come. The reward that you get with settlement is not joy, it's not peace. Because in settlement, you are no longer content. You're not content when you settle. See, contentment and settlement is two different things. When you are content, you know, this is not where I'm going to stay forever. This is just the beginning. And I'm going to get through it. That's contentment. Contentment is, I'm going to be happy where God has me at right now. That's contentment. Yes, it's airplanes flying over my head, y'all. That's contentment. Contentment is not complaining and just being okay and knowing that it's not the end. Settlement. Settlement is you're settling for less than what your worth is and what you deserve. And most of the times when we settle because we do not know how our value and our worth. We settle because we really don't know our true identity. And the world tells us to settle for all of these different type of titles. And we do. And those titles become idols. Because we settled. You miserable at your job, relationship. You running a business, but all of a sudden you miserable. And you still claiming it's from God? No, he ain't. No, she ain't. You have to be, when it comes to settlement and you realizing that you're settling, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to acknowledge the fact that you are settling. God doesn't want us to settle. He wants us to be content. He wants us to be content, not settling for less. You got to know your identity to who you are in God. I settle for a lot of things in my life. And in this new beginning that I'm approaching in my life, I refuse to settle any longer. I don't care what nobody say. What nobody say. I'm no longer going to settle for less than what God said about me, my children, and my life. Our lives. And I am teaching that to my children. Do not settle. Be humble. Be content. But don't settle for less than what God says. Don't settle for less than what he says. Know who you are. Know where God says, this is what I have for you. Know the promises of God. You know, Peter walked on water. You want to know why Peter the only one who walked on water? It wasn't just because he was mad and he had stuff going on. He walked on water with all of his faith that God was going to hold him on that water when his own mind couldn't fathom and couldn't believe what it was happening. He had people on the boat telling him, no, it's crazy. But he had faith. He had faith. Not only did he have faith that God was going to hold him up, but he knew he ain't gonna let me drown though. I'm not settling to sit in this boat with y'all if Jesus just told me to get out this boat and walk on water. Because if I can believe just to put my foot out on the boat, if I can believe and have the faith that when he says come, all I do is put a foot over and that foot don't drop right in the water, I'm no longer settling. And I know that my life is going to be a season of walking on water. It's going to be a journey of walking on water. Why is it going to be a journey of walking on water? Because I know who holds me. And I know he ain't going to never leave me nor forsake me. And I know that he will never let me drown. And because I know he will never let me drown, and I believe I am who he says I am, settlement is no longer no more. I can't get back in the boat. I'm not getting back in the boat unless I'm getting in the boat with him. If he ain't in the boat, I ain't in the boat. And yes, your boat could be different things. This video is just about settlement and how not to settle. How not to settle. Stop settling for what the world is trying to tell you who you are, and be content and dive into who God says you are. So that's my piece this morning. I know this one was a little bit much longer. So I pray that it motivates you, it inspires you to really think. And my question and challenge to any and everyone who crosses and listens to this video is, what are you settling for? Ask yourself that question. Like real. Don't go on the surface. Ask yourself deep down in your soul, what am I settling for? Why am I still on this boat of settlement? What's keeping me here from moving forward? All right. So I love y'all. You know God loves you. And ain't nothing nobody could do about it. Peace. Have a great and wonderful Wednesday.